that your Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people.
Somebody gotta do it.
Refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Biden said we don't respect the Constitution. That's some crazy stuff. Next day he tweeted about banning guns. I can't make it up. He said he doesn't encourage violence. Is he fake or what? He said Antifa just an idea. Why he changed it up? Maxine told liberals to harass GOP at dinner. Biden said that we deny the election. We know the winner. But he said conservatives causing division. I bet it different, cause your whole speech was causing division. Do you remember? Ain't no Mike Jack. You said USA just an idea and I don't like that. Say you waging war against MAGA, but you ain't like that. And this song might go #1 just to spite that. Biden talking crazy again, where your wife at? Battle for the soul of the nation and the battle for the soul of the nation. You say God bless America. I wonder if your God's Satan. I'm wondering if your God's Satan, cause I know that we at war in the battle for the soul of the nation, in the battle for the soul of the nation. You say God bless America. I wonder if your God's Satan. I'm wondering, is your God Satan?
All right, welcome to Patriot Nightcap. We are back, folks. I'm so excited because I'm coming back. We're coming back strong, and we've got Bryson Gray. I just want to introduce Bryson. I don't think there is an introduction necessary, but American rapper, YouTuber, songwriter, social media personality. I would say a force for God.
Thank you so much.
Good, and
Absolutely.
I really mean that. And my Patriot sister, Victoria Welsh. So,
hey everybody.
Hi. So first of all, Bryson, we just want, our Patriot community just wants to get to know you. But I want to say to you, thank you from the depths of our hearts, because you're really a voice for us. Like, you align with our values, and we just feel like we don't have much of a voice right now. It's like, if you're not on the left, you're kind of just rubbed out, you know what I mean? And I'm just a mama bear, like I've got my mama bear cap. I'm just a mama bear trying to like save the kids over here, and lately with Switch to America, I've really gotten to know some of your audience, and I've spoken to a lot of people, and I've had well, first of all, you're just crossing all demographics, which is amazing.
That's the goal. The goal is to reach everybody, because it's not about like racial lines or even necessarily, the political lines are unfortunately going to happen because Democratic Party is full of just atheists and ungodly people. But it's not even about political lines. It's about, but a lot of people that, try to pick God first and have integrity and stand on their belief system, that love family. That's my entire goal.
Right. And that's really been torn down a lot recently. One of your audience members in the Patriot family from Switch to America, I said, well, so he was in his 20s. He's like, you know what? I hated rap. I love it now because of Bryson Gray. I'm like, well, tell me what you're loving about it. He's like, look, Bryson's just real. He talks about real stuff, pointed stuff. He's calling out BLM, Epstein, LGBTQ, sex rings, pedos, everything. And I'm like, yeah, he is. You're really, do you ever feel, or do you ever get attacked by the left and sort of like death threats? Or because I look at you and Candace Owens and I'm like, these are like truth warriors, and my brother Nino, like, you guys are out there really throwing it down. Like, you're throwing the gauntlet down in the way that God gave you with your talents. Do you ever feel a little nervous or scared? Like,
oh no, I don't. I think, my parents think I have the emotions of a sociopath, but I don't believe in fear or scared. Maybe I'm just crazy. Sometimes people got to be crazy, but I don't believe in fear any of that. And I've got many death threats. The death threats has actually slowed down as of late. Like the last 6 months, I haven't gotten as many. But from like 2019 to last year, oh man, the death threats were nonstop. They were so funny to me personally, because of somebody actually tried to make true any of these death threats. I don't think it'll work out best for a lot of those people. So
I can see that.
what was like the worst thing? Like, what can you talk about? Something that was really bad that kind of maybe shook you for a second?
Well, nothing. Like I said, I'm crazy, so nothing ever shook me for a second. But
you sound like my brother, by the way. I'm a little crazy. Like,
But so before I actually went viral, what I would do is I would go around where I'm from, which is High Point, North Carolina. It has a pretty high murder rate, and I would go around like daring people to say places I won't go to with my huge mega hat on. This is before I had 100,000 followers. Before I really, and like nobody knew me except for locally because I was always popular where I'm from. And I used to get death threats, like real death threats, not the fake internet ones. I used to get death threats from people that knew where my parents lived, knew where I lived, you know what I'm saying, knew all this stuff. But, like I said, they know it's not no like, easy situation to just come do something to me. So nothing ever happened, thank God. But they were real death threats. And also one time I was in Florida, checking into a hotel. Of course, I always got something provocative on.
Mm-hmm.
And this time I had just a MAGA hat on, and this guy like said something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What you mad about?" That's like, "What are you mad about?" So I tried to have a conversation with him like I typically do, but this guy wanted no conversation. So he sort of like said like threatened things to me. And then I said, I don't know who you thought you was talking to. I was like, I'm not one of those. So,
mm-hmm.
And then they actually had to call security down. The hotel had to call security down and stuff. But the guy saw that. The other guy started it, so I didn't get in trouble or anything.
Okay,
but
that's good.
Yeah, I've had a few. Even at a TPUSA event, it was a big Charlie Kirk event, the Culture War event or something like that. Mm-hmm. In Raleigh, North Carolina, I went with my big hat on. It was like 10,000 protesters in a building. I said, yo, this is fun, And I walked in with my big hat on, and I was taking pictures with some people that knew me because I was a little bit viral at this point. So I took a picture with a few people, and I was taking a picture with this like nice older lady, and somebody tried to run behind me as I was taking the picture and snatched the big hat off my head. He tried to run out the door, but like, I ran a 4.4. I was a running back. You're not about to just.
Right. You're not. I'll get it back.
So I called him, and then like put him on the ground, and the police came to me trying to think I was the aggressor, but everybody was like, no, Bryson wasn't the aggressor. So I snatched my hat back. But I've had a few situations.
Love the song "Soul of the Nation." Love your songs, but
thank you.
The Soul of the Nation. Okay, talk to me about. Obviously, you see this as a spiritual war, as do I. Are we winning
Absolutely.
it? What are your thoughts on that? Are we winning it? And one of your lyrics, how are we a threat to the country if we're trying to preserve it? Because I'm in shocks most of the time. I'm like, what do you mean there's a drag queen in the library at a children's school? What is happening right now? I just please just teach our kids math, reading, writing, and I'm all about family, God, and values. And I never thought I'd have to really go and interview principals before enrolling my kid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't understand, but this is what's happening right now. So do you think we're winning it? And what are your thoughts on that?
It's two wars, and both of them biblically we should be fighting. So you have the spiritual war, which is really already won. So that's more within. Like, can you overcome? And if enough people overcome, I mean, we don't need half the people. We just need a small percentage of us to do that. I mean, but that's already won regardless. The culture war, just to be honest, we are losing it. It's not even close. We're getting blown out. It's third quarter. We're losing by 40 points. We got one more quarter. We got to come back. And this is the war we really need to be fighting. But the devil is, people think, the devil doesn't have power. The devil is the devil is smart.
Mm-hmm.
He knows all it takes is, we really look at culture, right? All it takes is normalizing something slowly.
Yeah.
Subtly. And then really doing it, really like going hard with it for one generation. Because that generation is eventually going to be the parents.
Conditioning our kids, right?
Yeah. So if you condition one generation, they're going to do the rest of the conditioning for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's right.
Yeah. So it's like, and Satan understands that. So like, I saw an article and they said like, I think people that claim to be a different gender is like, it's up in schools 582%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wow.
So, right when I think we're winning, or whatever, my brother will send me something like this just came out in California. Welcome to the Rainbow Club for middle school. And it says, you do not need to tell your parents that you're going to attend All are welcome. I mean, listen, I'm like, just leave our kids alone in the school, and the hormone inhibitors and all of this stuff. I'm like, how does anybody know themselves? Even at 18, I didn't know, really what?
That's a slippery slope though. That's a slippery slope though, isn't it? Right? Because you have the people that say, we don't care, just leave our kids alone. But see, you gave them an inch when you say that. And now they're not going to leave your kids alone because now you let them take over. And now they're doing the kids, right? So, I mean, in the way it works, you have to realize these kids, like, I mean, I never had children, but I've been a child and I've lived, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you learn from what you see. That's it. That's the only way to learn, from what you see and hear. So if you're a kid in elementary school, middle school, and this is the norm, these people are going to be parents. These people are going to be, one of these little kids is going to be the president of the United States.
Right.
Wow, that's profound. I didn't think of it that way, Bryson. That's really profound, because I understood that they start, in schools with the generation. I mean, it went back the generation, 2 or 3 generations, since before 2008, but really prevalent in starting in 2008, those, that term. And they succeeded all the way, I mean, just right under our noses.
Right. Well, I mean, it was Hitler that said, just give me your child at 5 and he's mine.
Wow.
I mean, you got to think about it. Me, I'm a millennial. I'm 31. And on average, men don't live as long as women. So, I mean, what I got, statistically, I got 30, 35 more years. You know what I'm saying? That may seem like a long time to us, but in the grand scheme of things, to take over a country, if look at the schools now and tell me if that's the type of people you want to be the parents and running this country.
Right.
That's the reality of it. Now, the positive side of it is I still think there's a chance for us to win even the culture war, but it's hard because so many things are already normalized and people don't understand that that's part of the problem. Like, people will say things and don't understand. Like, people will be against the T of the LGBT, but don't understand the only reason you got to the T is because of the LGB. So if you don't understand how we got there in the first place, it's going to be hard for you to fight back because you're not even fighting the actual issue. So, I mean, we can do it. It's just going to take, especially Christians, man. I saw a video of Christians and Muslims coming together to boycott the school. Did you see that video?
I think that was in Michigan, right?
Yeah, I think it was in Michigan. Boycott a school for teaching LGBT stuff, and I thought that was just like beautiful, like, because but this happens with Muslims a lot. If you look a few years ago, Muslims took their kids out of schools for teaching LGBT stuff, and the school said, okay, we're gonna like take it away. Because I mean, so that's the energy we need. It works if we can understand to do it,
Right. Well, this is why it's so important for us to maintain our history and look back on history like the Holocaust and other things, and to understand where we are today, right? So that when we want to take history out, it's like, what are you doing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Let me ask you something. It seems to me like you've had your spiritual awakenings. You're pro-life, pro-God, pro-Trump, right? Wasn't there a time when you were Obama, Bernie? Like, where did you make, I'm interested in that moment. And weren't you also, you love to have drinks and shots, right? So what?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what happened?
I was the king of taking shots, but it's funny. A lot of people get surprised by the Bernie to Trump pipeline, but statistically, if you look up the research in 2016, 21% of people that like Bernie voted for Trump, and it's because it's really a simple thing, right? It's understanding politics. It's not understanding politics, then understanding politics, because the reason why propaganda works is because, and I hate to say it, most voters are ignorant. They usually vote based on how their parents vote. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, I don't know if y'all, I'm sure y'all know this, but like when you go vote, there's a place for kids to vote also. The votes don't count, but the kids like practice voting. And I remember me and my sister in the other room actually, so I don't know if she can hear me, but she could probably attest to this. We was like, who do we vote for? My parents used to say, just vote D all the way down.
Oh, yeah, right. You and your dad, you have different politics, right?
We used to. My dad don't like to admit it, but he's red pill now. My mama's completely red pill. My dad just likes to argue with me, so it's fun for him to do. It's fun for him to argue with me, so he don't tell you the 100% truth.
Typical
But,
father-son relationship, yeah.
You know, but yeah, they told me to vote D all the way down. So you have to look at it from this point of view. I never knew I could do anything outside of the Democrats. Like, this is the pool of people I get to choose from. And I have to choose what I think is the best out of this group. And so it's not like it's from knowledge. To me, it's just about who sounded the best on CNN, or, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, my generation, we just all don't like Hillary. So when it was Hillary and Bernie going against each other, I mean, Bernie was yelling about not having donors and, you know, for the people. Like, those are the clips I saw. So I was like, okay, I like this. Then I was getting into the debates on Twitter in 2013, 2014. I was getting into the debates on Twitter with the LGBT community. And it became a thing to call me a fake Bernie supporter.
Oh.
And I was like, how can you tell me I'm a fake Bernie supporter? And then they said, because nothing you support, he supports. And I was like, that's not true. He supports, you know, working hard and not having donors and being independent. And you know, enough of these debates, I went to Bernie Sanders' website, and it's the craziest thing. I didn't agree with nothing on there. Like, literally.
Right. When you look at the policies, right? You're like, wait a minute.
I couldn't find one thing I agree with. Like, the only thing I still think is gangster, but Trump did it, was like to not accept, you know, the big donors. Like, all your funding comes from the people. But I didn't like nothing on there. And then by this time, I had already, like, I'm not gonna say hate, because hate is a strong word, but I really disliked Obama already by this time. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to some Republicans. And it wasn't even Trump at first. It was Ted Cruz.
When you call him Lying Ted.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
his website was about traditional family. He supported traditional marriage. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't see nothing that's racist on here. You know, like, even when I started liking Trump, I still believed Republicans were racist. I just didn't believe Trump was racist. Nobody in the Black community ever thought Trump was racist. That's like some new phenomenon that happened in recent history.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, that never was been like, we all thought Republicans were racist, but we never thought Trump was racist. So when I started like watching the primaries, I never went to like a rally, so I still had that view. And then it was harder for me though, because I went to one rally, right? This one rally, and there was a bunch of like neo-Nazis posing as Trump supporters, like telling Black people to go back to Africa. So, you know, I was like, well, you know, I still like Trump, but I don't know about this. You know what I'm saying? But I started watching the primaries, and then Trump just, like, the way he wiped the floor of everybody, I forgot I even liked Ted Cruz. Like, I'm talking about, like, it was the weirdest thing. The only other person I liked on that stage was Ben Carson. You know what I'm saying? Because if Ben Carson, even looking back now, to be honest with you, I probably would have supported Ben Carson, because he's an actual Christian conservative for show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Trump is just so polarizing. He's so rough and tough. He reminds me of me. I feel like I'm hearing myself talk. So you can't really get the fullness of Ben Carson, because Trump just took the spotlight.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But I started going to like watching the rallies, like actually watching stuff, and I'm like, I like this. And then I started looking up Black conservatives. You know what I'm saying? Like, my girlfriend, she was popular before I was. Like, I knew of her, you know what I'm saying, beforehand. Then Vice did a documentary on Black. A lot just went into it. And then I actually started going to rallies myself. And I was like, oh, this is the most fun thing ever.
Yeah, right. And I worked in real estate with Donald Trump back in 2007 to 2010. And I'm going into all his buildings and stuff, and everybody's working for him. And, you know, so when they came out with the whole racist thing, I was like, oh my gosh. And by the way, he promoted women, smart women ran his organization. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. He promotes women, in business, and he's not racist. I never had any of that experience. I'm like, they just have a hit out on this guy.
I never even heard that. Like growing up, I've never heard Trump was racist. And I've been watching Trump all my life. My mom used to watch the show he was on all the time, Apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that racist thing is so new. I don't think people understand how new that is, but that shows you how propaganda works.
Right. Grabbing a hold of an emotion and running with it, similar to what Countess in her documentary, when she talks about George Floyd. It was just grabbing an emotion, and then $90 million later. And a lot of lavish mansions,
listen, if you can control people emotionally, you can do anything. Like, you gotta think about it. Rappers were making songs praising Donald Trump literally in 2015, 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like this Trump is racist thing is so freaking new, and people don't understand. But a lot of people like off that though. If you talk to a lot of black men, they like, yeah, I rock with Trump. Like, I have more criticisms of Trump than they do nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know.
What do you think of Candace Owens' documentary? I know you went to support her the other night, right? The greatest lie ever sold.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it because just like I love the Uncle Tom 2 documentary. The reason why is because I can tell if something is surface level versus if something is like really going deep, because I already do a lot of research. So if I see something I haven't heard of, then that means you did something for this. And she actually went through all their taxes and told you where every dime went.
I know. I know.
Do you
like
know
she was literally following the trail of money. And I mean, and you know, here's the thing. So we talk about the left having a voice. Okay, here's a documentary that you have to go to Daily Wire, you know, pay your $100 to see it. It's like, you know, why is it that we have to struggle to get this information?
Yeah, I don't like that stuff, like being behind a paywall. I think they should put the full documentary up on like YouTube or something, because you're gonna make the money back anyway off ads, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, but I understand what they're doing. They're trying to compete with the Hulus and Netflix and people like that. I understand that 100%. But the documentary is like well put together. I thought it was awesome.
I watched it last night. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, I thought it like
it was phenomenal. I mean, just imagine. It's phenomenal.
She even paid for his roommate's car to have it towed. Like, she's the real
back rent.
And back rent.
And back rent for like a year.
Yep.
I think it was a year, wasn't it, Bryson?
Yep.
I mean, really, I was like, Candace, you're the real deal here.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought, like I said, well put together.
Exposing the looting and all the small businesses that lost. I mean, terrible. Their families are decimated now because of the looting.
The part I like, to be honest, is the objectivity she showed when she let George Floyd fans give their view of George Floyd.
Yeah.
She didn't interrupt it and say, no. When they said he was reading the Bible all the time, like she didn't stop them or interrupt. She let them tell you what they saw George Floyd as. And she did the same thing with people that knew Derek Chauvin. And I just thought that's like, I mean, that's respectable, because a lot of conservative stuff is like so far conservative that you know what I'm saying, they'll interrupt something like that. He can't be, you know.
Right. No, because you know what? You're trying to get the full picture. And okay, the guy did have a rap sheet, you know, he did. But all right, we all know addiction, you know what I mean? And that's
right.
That's really, I think, the problem here. It's like that's the terrible thing. So let me ask you something with the drinking the shots and everything. I don't think you really addressed that. What was the moment when you said, you started really diving into the Bible? Like, what happened there?
Fun fact, I was a Bible thumper while I was taking 20 shots. That should be the most hilarious part about all of this, right?
So was I, Bryson. So was I.
Listen,
I've been 7 years sober now.
Listen, I've been a Bible thumper. I've been a Bible thumper since I was like 19, 18. But I just used to be a hypocrite at first while doing it. So my name used to be King Vodka. It became a whole brand. I used to be known for taking a lot of shots. I used to make EDM music under my moniker King Vodka. Songs went viral. And the thing is, it's almost like you have this modern view of who Jesus is. And the problem with this modern view is you think you don't, like, you, how can I say it? You think you don't have to change anything about yourself. And you can still, you know what I'm saying, claim to be a new creation and things of that nature. But there's no real fruit in that, especially with somebody like me. I'm calling people out. Like, I'm calling out the LGBT community. They're calling me a hypocrite. They're pulling up pictures like, you just taking 20 shots last night. I said, I'm probably taking 10 tonight. You know? You know, and so 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 13, that lit a fire under my hard headed. But I tell you what, I read that verse, it scared me. And you're supposed to have a healthy fear. And that verse right there, when you start getting to the Bible yourself, reading it full and through, and like read it to change your life. A lot of people try to read the Bible for the Bible to fit their life when you're supposed to change your life to fit the Bible. So when I started doing that, it said in 1 Corinthians 6:9-13, it says, do not be deceived. Right, that's the first thing. So if anybody tell you something different, they crazy. Do not be deceived. They give you a list of people, and it included drunkards. Because here go the other crazy thing that's gonna like blow your mind. I became celibate before I stopped getting drunk. So I had stopped having sex before marriage. I think I probably had stopped having sex before marriage like 3 years before I stopped drinking. I was still getting lit every weekend, but never engaging in premarital sex, you know? And but when you read 6:9-13, it talks about fornicators, but then it talks about drunkards. And to be honest, I didn't even think I was a drunkard because I wasn't addicted to it. I didn't drink every day.
No, but you have that thing in your head like, oh, I'm only doing it on the weekends, right?
You trick yourself. You trick yourself. Yeah. You trick yourself. And then, you know, make it worse when you look at your friends and all, because I've always been the person that everybody called moral in the friend group. We were all degenerate, but I was the most moral degenerate. So in my mind, I'm like, I mean, I'm not getting drunk every day. I mean, I'm doing better than most of these people. So, you know, you can play a game and trick yourself. And then when I read 1 Corinthians 6:9-13, it scared me. But then it said, and such were some of you. But then, you know, you were changed through Jesus Christ. And I said, you know, I'm done. Now I'll probably drink wine on the Sabbath or something if I feel like it. But I haven't been drunk in years.
Amazing.
That's beautiful, Bryson. That's beautiful.
Congratulations.
Hey,
no,
thank y'all.
I know my brother took a big change a couple of years ago, and he had that moment where I think he said he was like just at a bar and he looked up and he looked at himself and he felt like, oh my God. And he looked horrible. He just said, I have to change this now, or this is my life, like forever.
Yeah, you be stumbling everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a miserable existence.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, the best thing that God ever compelled me to do is to stop drinking. I just, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I got family
It changes
members.
everything.
It changes everything.
Do you do AA, Bryson? Do you do any of that, or do you?
Nah, I'm like, one thing about me, I've always been a super strong-minded person. So, like, I didn't drink because I felt like I had to. I drank because I actually thought it was fun. That's why it was harder for me to stop drinking than it was to like have sex. I didn't think nothing was wrong with what I was doing at first. But I have family members who are real life drunkards. Like, they literally can't keep a job because they have to drink when they wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I look at that, I'm thinking like, I mean, I may not be this now, but what if I become like, how long would it take your body to feel like it needs the alcohol?
Yeah.
And I never even wanted to get to that point. So like, you know,
no, you know what, Bryson, we lost my older sister to addiction, and
oh man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you know, and you that is a vicious cycle. But I'll tell you what, I took my judgment hat off because I'll never forget her saying to me, she, you know, I was a little sister. I was angry with her that she's killing herself. So she walks in the kitchen and she looks at me, and I'm like, just looking at her like, you know, and she goes, what? She goes, don't you think if I could, I would just flick this off my shoulder? I'm like, yeah, you would. You wouldn't choose in your right mind. You wouldn't choose this pain and horror.
I had a family member that was a crackhead, and a crackhead, like he really did it. But the difference is with him is he actually told my dad, because my dad was his brother, that he's not gonna stop. He's gonna do it until he dies.
Okay. Well, she told me, she said, I need this like you need air to breathe. I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
But she, you know, she had a lot of pain, and there was a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
A lot of this is pain, you know, you're trying to escape.
Yeah, I think that's probably maybe why I never got like addicted to alcohol, because I don't have trauma or anything. So I guess I guess I didn't need, like, really, it was like, it became a part of my brand because I realized I had the ability to drink a lot, like, without getting drunk. And it still became a part of, like, what I was known for. So that's probably why I did it. So I didn't have no true attachment to it. And that's probably why it was easier for me.
Also, it's the biggest deception is that it's just so readily available. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. And the thing is like in the 70s, she had gone through some stuff, and want to know what the psychologist, my mom had taken her to a counselor, and they were like, what's the big deal? Just, this is the 70s. Just keep some beer in the refrigerator. Just let her drink. And she was like 13, Bryson. My mom,
what?
Yes. My mom's like, what? That's the kind of help you got in the 70s.
That is
just keep some beer in the refrigerator. It's not a big deal. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Some crazy stuff. But so I want to go back to the power of the media, because I get really fired up when it comes to like kids, and then our lack of free speech lately, like it's just not there, and the power of the media. And some of the people in our Patriot group, Missy Palmieri, she supports the Operation Underground Railroad. And there's a documentary coming out. It's happening right here. And it's about how predators target kids online. And it's like, you have to fight to see this documentary. And these are some of the values that we have over here. We're trying to not support sex trafficking. It's like, get away from the big box stores who are supporting, sex trafficking, the poison that you're ingesting mentally, physically. And I want to mention that documentary because she asked me to, and she said, I love Bryson Gray, and this is an important documentary to her. It's called It's Happening Right Here. And, if there's one thing I can do in this lifetime is to try to be a voice for the innocent kids. And there's so much online media stuff happening that they're just overstimulated, over inundated, and then the predators jump on there, and it's so this is about how do we save our kids, and why is this only, being released nationally for one day, November 3rd? Do you know what I mean? Do you have any tips or suggestions on how we can sort of shine a light on what's happening to our kids online? And I know this is a little off topic maybe, but
I know the censorship, like we don't truly have free speech in this country like people think. I think like I think people always talk about what's coming to America, but this America is already not the same America that what it was. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be hard to get stuff out if stuff is getting censored already. I mean, I wish I had the answers to that.
I know.
Obviously, but I don't know, especially when it comes to the kids, because certain things they won't censor to get in your kids' minds. They'll actually push it to them to make sure they digest it. They're actually they're normalizing pedophiles now. Again, slippery slope.
Right.
Yeah.
Minor attracted persons. I mean, like this is just insanity, and I don't know. I don't know how to stop it, you guys. I don't know.
It's insanity. It's insanity to us right now, but give it 6, 7, 8 years, you're gonna actually get banned off social media for actually saying what you just said, that it's insanity to allow pedophiles to roam free. And this is where it's already starting in a lot of colleges. If you haven't seen it,
I know.
That's horrifying. That is horrifying. But that's a reality, Bryson. You're absolutely right. That's a reality.
The reason why I say that is because there were things that I thought were horrifying 10 years ago. Now it's the norm.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just the natural next steps is pedophilia. And then after that is bestiality. These are the natural next steps that's going to happen.
Well, this is why it's important, and you're a voice for the Patriot community. And so thank you, because we need more people to step up and speak out. And you're not afraid to do that. Candace Owens isn't afraid to do that. My brother's not afraid to do that. I do it as best I can. I'm like jumping in here with my little show, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of mama bears over here and people who are extremely concerned. And so thank you for supporting us. And we're just family, values, God, it's like, just, I don't want to feel like such a dinosaur.
Well, the youth is the most important thing we have, because you know, it's hard to change the minds of people that's already adults that already made up their minds. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in overly focusing on, you know, people like me, millennials and up. I mean, we can still change, but the vast majority of us, based on history, have our minds made up. The youth, though, that's the future. There's nothing more important than what's being taught to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's why we have to protect them. You know, that's all I'm saying. But Bryson, it's been such a pleasure. What's next for you? What's on your agenda next? What are some exciting things that are happening for you?
I have so much stuff in the works currently. I don't even know what all I can talk about, but I am trying to do the God Save America tour. We did it in Chicago, trying to take it more places, but you know, we're trying to figure out the logistics and everything of that. I'm gonna continue releasing music every week, period, point blank. You know, I got enough music. I can release music every day for the rest of the year if I really wanted to, but once a week, I do just fine. And I'm just keep trying to tell people about the news, and give people my true opinion versus, you know, fake opinions that a lot of people give, including a lot of popular conservative pundits. They don't ever give their true opinions either.
But you know, you also have a Bible YouTube channel, right? Because I saw that and I was like, wow.
Yes, Bryson and a Bible. Bryson and a Bible is a YouTube channel, and I haven't done it over the last few weeks because I've been traveling and crazy busy. But probably next week I may be able to get a full weekend where every day, Monday through Friday, I try to read 4 chapters of the Bible until we finish the entire thing.
That's amazing.
What chapter are you on currently? Whenever you pick back up, what chapter? Last time we talked, you were on Exodus, I think, or
yeah, we finished Exodus and we're in Numbers. We may be Numbers like 7. It was like 2 weeks ago the last time I did it on live, so maybe Numbers 7 or something like that. So all we have left to complete the Torah portion of the Bible is, after we finish Numbers, is Deuteronomy. Then we'll have actually completed the entire, you know, the 5 books of Moses, and then we're going to continue from there. So hopefully I can complete, you know, the entire Torah definitely before the end of the year. But my schedule's getting crazy.
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody, look for Bryson Gray on his Bible channel. How do we find you on the Bible channel? What is it?
Right, Bryson and a Bible.
Right, very simple. Bryson and a Bible. And you know, switchtoamerica.com, drop down menu, Bryson Gray. Bryson, we love you and we thank you for being a force for God and a force for good. And I want to read something that I found that your mom said that I loved. She's like, that mouth of his is being put to good use.
I don't even know where she said that at, but that sounds like her for sure.
But I said, oh, spoken like a true mama bear. I was like, that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We shot a documentary with Vice in Chicago, and my mama was saying crazy stuff on there too.
Well, thank you, Bryson, so much. Victoria, thank you for making the connection, and everybody have a blessed day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you for having us, Tresha. Thank you, Bryson.
Of course, no problem. Yo, thank y'all so much for watching the Soul of the Nation video. I had to do a song responding to that Joe Biden speech because I thought that was the most divisive speech I've ever heard. Not only that, I feel like through music I have to also report the news and talk to y'all about it from a biblical perspective. But outside of that, switchtoamerica.com, switchtoamerica.com. You can get all of your household needs with organic products made in the USA. The company is Christian owned and conservative owned, so they're patriotic and they're trying to give you something better than what these big box companies are giving you. So God bless y'all. I'm out.